So a friend is somebody who is emotionally there for you and brings the vibes.
Yes. I'm trying to think if there's any more. This list sounding a little bit thin.
It's like we have 2 bullet points. As
Yeah.
long as you check it off,
Yeah.
you're good to go.
Okay.
I think, but I mean, that's the beauty of it, right? Like, what exactly is a friendship? What are friends, right? I mean, if you talk about, let's say, best friends,
Yeah.
I actually avoided using that term for like the longest time ever. Like in
How come?
primary school, just a lot of ish happened. In primary school, I will long story short this, but basically, I had a good friend, named, call her like and then we had a mutual friend called Jay, and then it was besties with I. Then Jay was just jealous, tried to like get in between us and stuff. I moved away. Then Jay and I were like frenemies, like full on frenemies. Okay, like we wrote each other notes. Should this go on the internet? Let me think about it. Yeah, okay, I think I can. Basically, like she wrote a note threatening to kill me, and I wrote one back. So we're in primary school. And it was like, I remember oh no, I didn't write one. Okay, I didn't write one back, but I like confronted her about it. So I was like, who do you think you are? Like, so, we didn't really like each other, right? Fast forward to, oh wait, so because of that, that's why I was like, I'm never gonna call anybody like my best friend again. Like, I don't wanna invite all of this trouble. Fun fact though, fast forward to like, we graduate primary school, we end up going to the same school for secondary,
Wow.
and I'm just like, oh, like,
Shag.
okay, yeah, like, oh, tough. But okay, but it's a bigger school, maybe we won't bump into each other.
Yeah.
We literally have lunch together on the first day. Like, no joke. Call it like Asian community, like Asian stand strong together, because, we were united in that like basement eating like our Asian food together for lunch. No joke, like
Nice.
genuinely. And then from then on, like, yeah, we kind of became friends. It's quite funny. So that's why I think it's quite funny that like, friendship is really just, it has so many broad definitions. Like, would I have called Jay my like best friend? Hell no, like absolutely not. This girl just tried to like, she wanted me off the face of the earth,
Yeah.
But like over the years, then I guess we grew more mature. I mean, we laugh about it now, and like now we're Instagram friends. We're not besties. I don't call her, I don't text her anything, but.
Yep.
We're Instagram friends, and like I just give her like a hey, like she's she's graduating, she's doing med school, so I'm like, hey,
Wow.
like all the best, or TIO, and then she'll text me that too, and like that to me is friends enough. Like we don't talk,
Yeah.
I have genuinely not, I don't really know what's going on in her life, she doesn't know what's going on in mine, but yeah, we're still there for each other, we still somewhat support each other despite maybe wrong footing at the start. I think I also have similar friends that maybe also because they're like overseas, so it's a bit hard to, let's say, connect and maintain that friendship, just really because time zone, everybody's doing their own thing, and systems are different,
Yep.
cultures are different everywhere.
Yep.
So I also have a very good friend who, like I said, good friends in secondary school, then just split up, and then now she's in New York doing ballet, and then we just wish each other happy birthday once in a while, and that's fine with me. Like, I would genuinely still consider her a friend. And I think like the definition of friends, I think it's just very interesting. I've recently been reading like articles about how friendship has evolved over the years, with the term of adult friendship. So a lot of articles have been popping up, especially because post-pandemic, right? And like isolation period, people want to reconnect now, and people are like, oh, like, trying to find long lost people that they have, they're trying to treasure that connection more. But I digress. Basically, all these articles talk about the idea of adult friendships and why it's like so hard to continue to be friends with people as an adult. Like, I think people talk about it, but everyone's just kind of like, oh yeah, it is what it is, and then like you accept it and you move on. But all these articles kind of delve into like, oh, like, why is it so hard for us to continue to maintain friendships? Because you can say it's because of distance. I think that's one thing. But honestly, you really have no excuse nowadays with social media and technology, right?
100%.
Like, somebody's just one call away, and
Yes.
I mean, it's just whether you make that effort to even call that
Correct,
person.
correct.
And then there's the reasoning of like, oh, like like it's been so long, like they've moved on with their life, I've moved on with mine. But I feel like that's not really an excuse to like, you can just catch each other up over what happened in your life. Or sometimes you don't even need to catch each other. Sorry, you don't even need to catch the other person up on what's been happening. You can just start where you are, which is why I asked you about whether the 4 years, like, did that really make a difference? Because, like you said, a lot has changed over those 4 years, but who you are today is, quite simply put, who you are today. It doesn't matter what you did 2 years ago, what I ate for breakfast a week ago, but my values perhaps stay the same, my experiences that I'm experiencing now, those are still things that I can share with you now. So wouldn't a friend be there to kind of read into and dissect all of that and be there with me, in that period of my life. So
Fair.
yeah, and of course the idea of like time and whatnot.
Yeah.
I mean, all of these all kind of say the same thing about how we're all just gotta try a lot more and put in a lot
Definitely,
more
yeah,
effort.
yeah.
But I think it is also something to note where for sure friendships will evolve over the years, and they always say like the older you grow, the kind of closer your circle will get,
Yeah.
or like smaller, you know. I do find myself becoming more of an introvert nowadays.
Really?
Like a little bit.
You're like the
just-
most extroverted person I
I know,
eh.
just
If
a-
you
just
come
a-
over to the outside, right, we're doomed.
No, it's,
Like-
it's just a smidge. Like,
Oh, okay.
But it's not really that I don't want to be friends with people. I think it's more of just like what you said. I think I'm just tired a lot more easily.
Yeah.
So I'm just like, like, so also when the article talks about like, stuff like energy, I'm like,
Yep.
that's so real. Because nowadays, sometimes I'm just like, I would be the type of person, I go out for dinner with any friend, like, every single day of the week, just
Yeah.
because I wanted to meet all these people and like catch up and stuff. But then nowadays I'm a bit tired if I do say so myself. So I
We
just
all are.
kind of you know.
Preach.
Like
I'm
I
one of
feel a
them.
little bit drained
Yeah,
after,
yeah,
you know.
yeah.
Then I'm like, maybe I won't go out for
Yeah.
dinner. Like I
Let's
won't.
postpone.
Yeah, I'm like maybe I won't schedule like a dinner like every single day. So now I'm like, okay, maybe like 3 dinners a week is enough for me. Then
Yeah.
that's it. Like I need time for myself. But anyways, long digression. Long story short, it's just that I just think it's fascinating, or rather, it's just something interesting that how so many people talk about the phenomenon of adult friendships and how it's so hard. But like we know these answers, we know the reasonings, but everyone's just kind of stuck in status quo.
Yeah, that's why I think like effort is very important when it comes to maintaining any relationship. If you meet someone who is willing to go the extra mile for you, right? Wow, hold on to that friend, hold on to that person as long as you can, and give them back at least a good fraction of what they're giving you. You know?
Right.
That's my take on things. Like I'm glad you mentioned the distance factor when it comes to friendships. When it comes to maintaining friendships, I do have a friend who's currently in Newcastle. She's been there for a long
Ever.
time. Yeah, a long time, like since
Yeah,
secondary
yeah.
school. And we still keep in touch. In fact, we have a we have a call.
A Snapchat. No, okay,
No,
never mind.
I wanted to say call scheduled, then it just
Okay.
got shortened to skull.
Okay.
Yeah, but we have a scheduled call for like 20th May. You know, like we've scheduled our calls in because she's really busy with her commitments. I'm very busy with my own commitments.
Yeah.
So I think like that's just one way of getting around these different factors: distance, energy, time, priorities, commitments, to making the friendship work.
Yeah.
As you would a relationship. Which leads me on to my next question, which is
Okay.
quite interesting.
Okay.
Since I keep bringing up friendship, do you think platonic friendships exist? Or can work?
As in,
Like a guy and girl. Okay, let's say both heterosexual individuals.
Okay.
Guy and girl, can they just be friends?
like
Yeah.
just be friends.
Yeah.
Yeah. Wait, I'm like thinking
and
about
ends
it.
here, the conclusive statement has been said.
One word. Yeah.
Okay,
With
but
that
why
specific tone.
Why do you say yes? Because I know of a lot of people who
Yeah.
will say no.
No, but I think a friendship is different from a relationship, right? So if you're
Okay.
let's say a relationship with your partner,
Yep.
I think there's certain things that I would tell my partner, but I wouldn't tell my friends. For example.
Okay.
And
okay.
there's certain things that I think there are more sides to my personality that I would show my partner, more so than I would show a friend. And I think
Okay.
also your partner is somebody who is there with you really through it all, like the good, the down, the bad, the ugly. Whereas friends, but keep in mind this also because, like I said, I'm a very independent person, and a
Yeah.
lot of my friendships are really quite, like my closest friendships. Sorry. A lot of my closest friendships are really quite low maintenance. So because of that, it's like, they don't really. If I'm breaking down, I probably wouldn't go to them immediately, or I might just.
Charlotte's friends.
No, okay, I do, but like it's not like an immediate thought. It's like, oh my gosh, like I need to call like my
Yeah.
best friend.
Yeah.
It is more likely my partner. I mean, there's a host like your partner's your best friend type of thing. So, and I mean, obviously there's a romantic side to it as well. So that's why I think like platonic friendships, I think they would work because just for me, it's just you are a friend. You are just a person that I vibe with. We are there for each other. You support me, I support you, and that's about it, homie. Like, I don't really think I don't really think gender matters that much in terms of it. I'm trying to think if there's like a situation where it comes into play. I think, okay, hot take. I think best
Yeah.
friend though, I think it's a
Ooh.
little bit interesting.
Okay.
I am not a big fan of of having what's that, opposite gender best friend? Yeah. So
Okay.
let's say if
Okay.
I'm like me as
Yeah.
a girl,
Yeah.
and then I have like, let's say, a boy best friend. I wouldn't want that personally. Yeah. And
Why
I wouldn't
not?
want my partner to have that either. So okay, so then that begs the
Aha,
question of
yes.
like why, like what's the difference between friends and best friends,
Yeah.
right? I think, okay, but to be fair, this could just be based very much on my biased personal experience, where really all of the people that I know that have had like girl/guy best friend have eventually gotten together with their girl/guy best friend. So then I'm like, like I don't do math, but the math is kind of adding up a little bit, and it is not an equation that I like, not the answer that I want to see in my calculator.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I'm like, don't want to put myself in that situation. And also, to be fair, I think because they're your best friends, I think the lines can get a bit more blurry,
Yeah.
just a tad
Yeah.
bit more. Because I think if you're a friend, and if I establish that you're a friend, I'm very much have you at arm's, like really at arm's distance. Like, you're still close to me, sure, but I'm also just like, you stay there, I stay here. I have not hugged any of my guy friends at all. Okay, maybe like what, I can't even bring myself to hug them. I'm so sorry, but I will just like pat.
What's up, bruh?
Yeah, no, that's it. That's
Oh.
it. Okay, but to be fair, like people have said it's because like I'm more of a bro girl. So they're like,
Oh.
I wouldn't want you to give me a hug. And I'm like, yeah, fair. Like I wouldn't want to give you one too, so it's okay.
Fair,
At
fair.
least my closer guy friends. But like I said, like I don't know. Like I said, it's really just maybe a personal bias that I need to overcome because like I'm there for you and all that, but I think there is still a distance that I put. I think also because I just don't want to invite any unwanted questioning and just like where's the boundary and stuff. Because things can get really blurry because they're your, maybe also because of that statement, your partner is like your best friend. So
Yeah,
is it
okay.
interchangeable then? So if you let's say
like you
have,
can switch out your partner. Dating,
yeah,
you
like
can
it's your
switch out
best friend,
partner
yeah,
as well.
that sort of thing. So I think the lines, like physical touch wise, can get very blurry as well, or even just being there for that person. Like I know of people who, for example, I have this girl best friend. This guy is also taken, but he's like, hey, I'm going to go to this girl best friend's block at like 2 a.m. and like comfort her and stuff. Which to me, obviously, so I'm conflicted. I'm like, I mean, on one hand, like, I obviously you need to be there for that person. On the other hand, I'm like, 2 a.m., not telling your girlfriend, and then driving all the way to the other side of Singapore to like visit her just for like this one thing, a little bit iffy to me. I'm not sure how I feel about it.
That is so oddly specific.
It is.
Nice.
Because it's based on my friend's personal experience. But it's just like, I'm like, to me, it's good with good intentions.
Yeah.
But part of me is also a bit like, but maybe.
Like a bit sus,
yeah.
right? Like,
but like I said, could be because I'm insecure. Like, no, like genuinely, we don't need to hide it. It could really just because I'm insecure and because I don't have a so-called blueprint for me to, that has seen it work out. With it. So for example, I know of people who are very dear and close to me who also have an opposite gendered best friend.
Yeah.
And their significant others are just a bit like, whoa, like I'm not too comfortable with that, mainly because of just perhaps how the other person acts. I think it also matters, sorry, this is a digression, but I was gonna add that I think it also matters, like, not just your closest friends, but who their closest friends are. So who you might think is your close friend,
we'll get there, guys.
okay, who I think might be my close friend, they may not think that I'm their close friend.
Oh,
So
or
then-
like unreciprocated.
No, it's just not the same level of friendship.
Or like best friend.
Yeah.
You think best friend, but they think like friend.
Yeah, correct.
Okay.
So it's a lot to navigate, right? Like, like you're my best friend.
Yeah.
My person's like, maybe not.
Okay.
So then, okay, how do you react to that? Are you like, okay, I'm gonna tone it down a little? Are you just like, nah, like what's up, G? So and then how they interact with other people too is a very big factor. Which, when you're asking about girl/guy best friends, is something that you also consider, right? Like, like I'm not your best friend, but this other person, this other girl is this, best
Yeah,
friend.
yeah,
Do
yeah.
I feel jealous?
100%.
Am I hurt? Why is it that way? That sort of thing. So it's just, yeah, long story short, I keep saying that. Um, to summarize,
In conclusion,
in conclusion, number one, I do think platonic friendships can work. I genuinely
yeah,
think they do. To me, a person's a person. You vibe, we're just good friends. Number two, I think if you delve into best friends, however, the lines get a bit more blurry. It's a bit more complicated. And me personally, I don't have good experiences with it, if
Yeah.
I just say in a very blanket term. So which is why I would avoid from let's say calling somebody like my guy best friend. And
Yeah.
I genuinely don't view anybody in that way as well. Because I feel like my partner is like my best friend, so I wouldn't really need it. And honestly, number three, who cares about the term best friends, friends? As long as you're a homie, you're a homie. You know what I mean? Like, as long as you're there for that person. Yeah, good intentions, good vibes. Just don't stay safe and be
Yeah.
there for each other and be happy, healthy, and that's it. Like, obviously, like there are certain scenarios where like I brought up the one before about the driving over to the house. Like I said,
Yeah.
at the end of the day, that's their friendship. I'm not one to judge, and that person did it with good intentions, and I think that's nothing to be ashamed of. So it is what it is. Yeah.
But-
that was a very long spiel. I'm so sorry.
it's okay. I felt like you guys watch our podcast. I'm watching a podcast on my own. But
It's just me talking to myself. Like me. Hey guys.
like you'll just see like Charlotte like duplicated on me. Like then it's just one back and forth.
Tough. Okay,
No,
yeah,
but,
you were saying.
But I feel like okay, so a lot to unpack when it comes to friendships in general. Platonic, platonic, opposite sex, best friends, your perspectives on friendship, your individual perspectives on friendships,
Yeah.
as well as how you view one another when you are in a friendship. I think to me, it all boils down to like maturity, all boils down to mutual understanding, and it all boils down to openness.
Yeah.
If you're not mature in your friendships or in your relationships in general, then it's very hard for you to draw the boundaries, as you have so clearly and brilliantly done for yourself when it comes to guys and friends versus best friends. I think if you're immature in a friendship,
Yeah.
then the waters get very murky and things start to get very blurry. Case in point, like the situation of the guy friend driving over to see the girl, even though he has a girlfriend. And
No,
then,
so I don't think the problem was that he drove over to. I think it's more so the fact that like he
didn't tell, right? Yeah.
Yeah. So which is why you say about the boundaries,
correct.
right? So,
And that leads
Yeah.
into openness as well. If you're
Yeah,
not
yeah,
open
yeah.
with what you're doing to people who are involved in this situation,
Yeah.
who may not be necessarily directly involved. Case in point, that guy's girlfriend should have known.
But
Should
you
have
see,
at least sought her consent on
But
it.
to me,
Yeah.
my priority would be like my partner, then like my
Yeah.
best friends, which is why I tell you like, like my partner, I'm the like I would go to him if I went through trouble. I wouldn't
Yeah.
necessarily go to my best friends first. But for some people, I genuinely think it's just accorded like at the same level, or even
Yeah.
sometimes like a
Yeah,
bit
yeah,
more.
yeah.
And it could just be because of like history, like you know this person for longer, or really could just be like you went through like shit together, like a whole lot of shit, So it's like as compared to this person, and which is why so it's funny that I say all of this, like
Yeah.
like I'm not so open. I said I wouldn't really like having like a best friend, guy best friend, but like. I'm like, okay, I've just been, I've been watching like a podcast, another podcast, it's an American
Okay.
podcast called Suburb Talks. Will we get demonetized? No, I don't think so. But anyways,
Go check them out.
yeah, no, they're a really good podcast, but it's a group
Yeah.
of like guys, and I think maybe 4 of them and then 2 girls, and they've all kind of been friends since like high school, primary school, around there,
Cute.
kind of interlinked, and then they just do a really good podcast together. And like I would think that they would consider each other as best friends, if not like very, very close friends.
Yeah,
you know?
yeah, yeah.
So I've been watching them, and I've just been thinking, like, it's kind of slowly opened my like mind a bit to like, okay, interesting. Like, I mean, it clearly seems to work considering they've had so many videos together, and like,
Yeah.
they're still friends, they still go out
Yep,
and
yep, yep.
everything. So okay, and they are not like some of them have their own relationships outside as well. So I'm like, okay, I mean, clearly it works for them. So maybe it's just like I said, me not have like now seeing that it does work for some people, and
Yeah.
just me needing to open my mind a little bit more and being like, okay, maybe it is.
But
yeah.
I do think that like if you already have the boundaries so well drawn for yourself, right? Why not make those boundaries known if you do want to explore this in the future? Let's say
Yeah.
that like having guy best friends, for instance, if that is something that you do want to explore, why not just share your boundaries with those guys? Then see if they're open to it.
fair.
If they're not open to it, or if they can't be mature about it, if they can't be men about it and they're boys, number one, douche. Number two, like maybe they're not ready to take on that with
True.
you. Yeah.
But you see, that's why I feel like I never put anybody at that level. Like I don't expect that from anybody, which
Yeah.
is why I just kind of like, I already kind of set it up myself. Like, oh, like I will be there for you, and like I appreciate you, and I support you 110%. I really do. But like you do your own thing, I do my own thing. That sort of thing.
Yeah, which is fine. Yeah,
Yeah,
like to each their own.
Yeah,
Like,
as in, but that's just how I orientate around
Yeah.
my friendships at least. Yeah, but I don't know. Maybe I'll be more open towards having like let's say a guy best friend or having my partner have a girl best friend in the future. We're just at this current point, as of 2024 May, not really in that stage right now. As in,
Yeah.
I'm just not on that level of comfortability. I'm slowly inching, maybe just slowly. But yeah, that's just where my boundaries lie.
Yeah, and you don't need to also. There's no need for this if you don't see
That's a
need
good
for it.
reminder.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so-
No, because I do think that nowadays people are very much like, okay, number one, I think people very much need to stick to one specific opinion. But anyways, that's a story for another day. Second of all, but I think that a lot of people are like, oh, like you should be more open to like girl best friends, guy best friends, everybody's interlinked, yada yada
Yeah,
yada.
yeah.
So, not gonna lie, I've heard like people say that I've just been a bit not pressured, but I just think like, is my thinking wrong? Am I in my head too much?
Be independent, girly.
Yeah, my voice is
Yeah.
in my head like,
Yeah.
woo!
Just
Yeah.
zip.
Yeah, honestly, but yeah.
I
that's me.
do think that like friends as a concept is a very interesting one to have because there's so many different degrees. There's so many different levels.
It's really like
to-
niche.
Yeah,
parts to
yeah,
unpack,
correct.
Yeah.
Yeah, correct. It's like there's fake friends, there's real friends.
Oh,
and then
you're so
within
real.
And then within the real friends, it's like, okay, are you like my IG friends,
Okay, yeah,
like
yeah,
my work friends, or like my friends' friends? And then within the friends' it's like, oh my god, are you like my girlfriend, boyfriend? Are you like my close friends, super close
But
friends,
do you
best friends?
really think about all of this? Because
No,
honestly,
absolutely
yeah,
not.
No,
It's
like,
too much.
Yeah, like, I didn't think about this until now. Like we're having this conversation. I'm like, oh, actually, maybe this is what I think. Yeah,
Yeah.
like now voicing it out because to me, like I said, like your friends, your enemies, your enemies. Like
Like,
it is what it is, man. Yeah.
I do think like different scenarios as you grow, just to tie it all back to like what we were saying earlier, as you grow, different scenarios that you face in life will force you to ask certain questions or force you
Yeah.
to at least question who is really there for you.
Yeah, for
and
sure.
then you start looking at your different relationships and then you start assessing them. And therefore you then become more cognizant of the different groups that these people fall in. And to
Okay,
me,
yeah.
like I think these scenarios have come into play and therefore have rendered my awareness, have increased my awareness
Okay.
on where all my friends fall.
Yeah, fair. But I think at the end of the day, like, I don't really think too much about it.
Yeah, honestly, just live,
like,
laugh, love.
Yeah, live, love
Yeah.
is truly the way to go. Like, as long as you're my friend, I'm your friend, we don't betray each other, we're there for each other,
Fingers
we're
crossed.
Gucci.
Fingers-
Fingers crossed.
Fingers crossed.
Fingers crossed.
To all our friends watching, thank you so much for supporting Tifu. And that is where we've come to the end of this episode today. If you guys like what you saw, be sure to like, share, and subscribe. Make sure to check out all our other videos. And we will be releasing videos every Wednesday, 7 p.m. So do check us out on YouTube at tifupod Squad. But where else can they find us?
You can also find us on Spotify because we also release all our uploads again Wednesday 7 p.m. So you can listen to us, on the train, when you're going to school, when you're going to work, when you're doing your chores, all of that will be in your ears on Spotify as well. And you can also check us out on Instagram because we also have interactive stories every Monday. So you can yap back to us while we yap to you guys through all of our episodes that we release.
And speaking of yapping, let us know in the comments down below who your closest friends, best friends, boyfriend, girlfriend, are friends lah, huh? Let us know down in the comments below. But with that, we hope you guys can take it from us. Bye.
Bye. Adios, amigos.
Ciao.